We've all been there, right? You promise God never again, and you mean it with everything you have. You feel strong, you feel resolved, but then it happens. The same sin, the same trigger, and the same crushing feeling of failure. And that failure pushes you to ask one of the most painful questions there is. And that's the real kicker, isn't it? Underneath all the guilt, that's the question that haunts you. The fear isn't just that you messed up again, it's that deep, terrifying thought that your constant struggle, well, it might be the ultimate proof that your faith isn't real at all, that you're just a fraud. And so the cycle begins. You promise, you fail, and with every single failure, that voice of accusation just gets louder and louder. It starts to feel different this time, because the hope, it starts to fade, doesn't it? You feel like a complete hypocrite, singing about freedom on Sunday but living in a cage on Monday. And that inner monologue, man, it can be absolutely brutal. It whispers things like, come on, if you were actually saved, this would be gone by now. It tells you that God is just so tired of hearing your apologies, because, let's be honest, you're tired of your apologies. And maybe the scariest part of all, that slow, creeping numbness, where you fall, and you don't even feel that sharp sting of sadness anymore. Okay, but what if we've been looking at this completely backwards? What if we could just reframe this whole thing? The fact that you are exhausted from this fight, that is not proof that you're spiritually dead. It's actually proof of life. Think about it like this. If you throw a dead corpse into a river, what does it do? Absolutely nothing. It just floats downstream, going with the current. It never fights back. Only something that's alive tries to swim upstream. The exhaustion you feel, that's what it feels like to fight the current. Dead things don't get tired because dead things don't fight. And that is the key difference, right there. People who are spiritually dead don't declare war on their sin. They just make peace with it. They stop fighting. The fact that you hate this sin, the fact that it grieves you, that's the Holy Spirit alive and groaning inside of you. That is life. And hey, if you think this is just for new believers or weak Christians, just listen to the Apostle Paul. He didn't say, I used to struggle with this. He says, this I keep on doing. That's present tense. This is the guy who wrote half the New Testament. His ongoing struggle wasn't proof that he was a fake. It was proof that the war was real and that the Spirit was still fighting in him. So if the struggle is normal, why can't you seem to get any traction? Well, it's likely because you're using the wrong strategy. You're trying to manage your sin when God actually wants you to displace it. You're trying to stop sinning by focusing all of your energy on the sin itself. Let's try a little experiment. Right now, whatever you do, do not think of a red car. So, what are you thinking about? A red car, of course. See, the mind has this simple law. Whatever you focus on, you amplify. Your whole battle plan has become a list of don'ts. Don't look, don't click, don't think. And that is exactly why you're so exhausted. Think about it another way. Could you walk into a pitch black room with a shovel and just start trying to scoop the darkness out? I mean, it sounds ridiculous, right? You could shovel all day long, and it wouldn't make one bit of difference. You just can't remove a negative with brute force. So what do? You turn on a light. You don't fight the darkness, you displace it with something better. And it's the exact same thing with your heart. You can't just push sin out with willpower. You have to crowd it out with a greater affection. You don't stop loving sin just because you hate what it does to you. You stop when you love Jesus more. But here's the trap. This is what keeps us from flipping on that light. It's shame. If sin is the darkness, shame is the enemy's hand that keeps you from ever reaching the switch. See, sin grows in the dark, and shame is designed to keep you there. You know, we often confuse shame with humility, but it's really not. Shame is actually a twisted, sneaky form of pride. It's this belief that says, yeah, Jesus' sacrifice was good, but it wasn't quite enough for this sin. So you feel like you have to add your own payment. You have to go sit in the corner and punish yourself and feel bad for long enough until God will finally trust you again. It's you trying to pay a debt that has already been stamped paid in full. And that is just not the God of the Bible. I mean, look at this beautiful picture from Matthew, a bruised reed, something so fragile it's about to snap, a smoldering wick, a flame so faint it's barely even lit. That's you. That's me. Religion comes along and says, blow it out, it's useless. But Jesus says, no, I know how to cut my hands around that tiny flame and protect it. He doesn't come to crush the weak. He comes to restore them. So how do we move forward? Let's get really practical. The goal isn't a life without any struggle. The goal is a life with progress. It's time to build a new response for the next time you fail. So the next time that urge comes, or the moment right after a failure happens, you've got a choice. The enemy, your shame, your pride, everything in you is going to scream, run from God. Hide until you're cleaned up. Your new strategy is to do the exact opposite. You run to God immediately. You bring the dirt, the mess, the failure, and you throw it right at the foot of the cross. Please remember this. You are not perfect, but you are not where you used to be. The Father isn't looking down disgusted because you fell. He's looking at your hands reaching up, wanting to be lifted again. You might be limping, but as long as you are limping towards Him, you are limping forward. And that is progress.
So let me leave you with this. A final thought, a declaration. The enemy wants you to believe that you've been disqualified, that you should just stay silent in your shame. But your struggle is proof that you are not silent and you are not dead. Make this your new declaration. I am still in the fight. You haven't given up. You're still in the ring. So get back up.